What's going on, everyone? Welcome back along to the channel. It is that time of the week. Once again, we are steaming through the Super Rugby season. We are cracking on into round number 6. Yes, round 6 of the competition. And of course, we have a special guest joining the channel for today's little preview of the rugby. Christian, welcome along to the channel for the first time. No one will know who you are, but this is the man watching the channel for a long time. Led the SuperBru selection, or the SuperBru predictions, I should say, for a number of weeks. So you may remember a few weeks ago, the challenge was laid out to everyone out there to come on and have your say on the channel, and that is exactly what Christian here has done. So let's see how he goes. You could be next, so don't tell me I don't do anything for you guys, because you're on the channel. Effectively, the viewers can have your say. So if you want to be in the future episode of the Super Rugby preview show, you can just let me know. Twitter, comments, anywhere like that, and you could be the next one on the prediction show. So he's put his hand up and said, yep, I've got the opinions that can lead the way. So, Christian, welcome along to the channel. If you want to give yourself a bit of an intro, say who you are, what you're up to, and get people to know you a bit better, go for it.
Yeah, I'm Christian, right? And yeah, I follow a lot of the rugby and plenty of other sport, but yeah, I'm just keen to talk some Super Rugby today.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Sounds very, very good. Right. Let's get straight into it. No messing around here. Of course, before we kicked off today's video, just a reminder to everyone, this just is our opinion of the matches. So, of course, if you do disagree, leave your thoughts in the comments below so everyone can attack you as well as us. So, don't be afraid to have your say, just like good old Christian has done here. He's put on the big boy pants and come onto the channel to have his opinion said. So, this should be good. Should be interesting. I hope you're all looking forward to it. To what we think. So let's start off. Let's kick things off with SuperBru like we normally do. Now, this is your area. This is your domain, almost, if we have expertly done well. But, I mean, we look at the ladder now, and I don't see in the top 3, we've got the Stig at the top. We've got Anti-Podar 49 at second, and we've got the Smarty Highlanders fan, I'm pretty sure his name is, at number 3. They've all done good rises up the ladder. Even Captain has stormed up 27 places with the yellow cap. What happened last week? What happened last weekend? You were leading. It all fell away. What's the news?
Well, I had a shocking start, and I didn't pick the Highlanders to beat the Crusaders, so yeah.
Sums it up in one word. That's one match. Ruined the whole weekend for you. So you've dropped down a bit. Where are you? Down there in 17th. You dropped 16 places. One bad weekend. That's no good, no good at all. But I guess I'm not really one to talk either, as I have to go quite far down. Oh, there's old Brett. So Brett Hartley's not doing well too well. He's down 13 spots as well into 53rd. Who else has been on the channel that we've got here? Driving Mall should be somewhere in this mix as well. I think he's stormed up the leaderboard. He's into 8th. And where's my picks? Here I am. I'm 38th. So really, I can't talk too much about this. My picks are going terribly as well. So I'm not one to talk. But the Wooden Spoon went to Grant Imahara, who had obviously another shocking weekend as well, rounding out the best of them. But onto the fantasy teams. You don't have one, Christian, but I mean, a lot of people still do. And so let's have a look at the top 3 here, where we have the Ruan 166's Honey Badgers. Throwback there to the old iconic Australian. They're sitting top. They're up 5 spots. Sneaky Toilet Actions is down 1 to 2nd. And, of course, the Giant Philanthropists are still there in 3rd. Believe it or not, they're still sticking around. But watch out, though, for those of you who are in the fantasy team competition, because MFCFO's Blues are steaming back up. He's up to 3rd now. So you've got to watch that guy, because he knows what he's all about. The disaffected Jaguares, yellow cap winners from round 5, so they are doing very nicely, up 6 spots as well. I have to scroll down a long way to find my team, but they're down in 29th, so not doing greatly. But I'm beating the Western Sharks. He's up 3. That's Brett's side. So I'm doing well against him as well. That's the goal now, to beat Brett. So if you're watching Brett, I'm still going to beat you. You've not got anything coming for you. So that's it. That's SuperBru. Of course, we'll be going through our selections in the upcoming weekend's matches. So if you want to pick the opposite, you'll probably do quite well to what we think. So before we kick off, though, yellow cards, something we've always got to recap. Let's get that counter straight back up. We're up to 24 yellow cards for the season so far. Well on our way to toppling 2017. But overall, since you're new to the channel, first time appearing on here, what's your overall thoughts of how the yellow cards have been this season? Good, bad, too many, not enough? What do you think?
Some of the yellow cards are warranted, but some of them a little bit inconsistent.
Yeah, the referee's definitely got a bit of work to do on that one, I'd say.
Yep.
So yellow cards is always going to be a problem for the games, isn't it? So, well, we're sure we'll see a few more this weekend. We did, I think, see 4 added in from round 5. So that's not too bad. I guess it was a full round of matches. There's only 4 cards. You've got to be pretty happy about that. So let's get into what we're here. It is the preview of the matches. So this is where it all gets into the action. Round 6, game number 1, and it is a huge game, this one. It is the Crusaders versus the Bulls. AMI Stadium, the Crusaders, of course, coming off a loss 2 in a row against the Highlanders and the Hurricanes, 2 New Zealand opponents as well. 25-17 it was versus the Highlanders in last weekend's matchup. But who would have dreamed this, to see the Crusaders lose 2 games in a row so early on in the season as well. A team that many people have predicted to go back-to-back and win. And you did mention before, they've actually named their team. They've got a couple guys back. But how crucial do you think that missing key guys like Moangas and Crotties, who should be back this weekend as well, has affected this side that we considered at the start of the season? A lot of people said that they should be the best team in terms of depth going around in Super Rugby.
Yeah, they really missed them last week. Mitchell Hunt. I think Moang is a huge loss.
He is indeed. It's a key player who's going to run that team around. Any other thoughts for the Crusaders? You think that they are good enough to bounce back here against the Bulls?
Well, they got Sam Whitelock and Ryan Crotty back, so that'd be 2 key ins for them this week.
Yeah, that's getting that first team strength back is always going to be key for the Crusaders if they can get back on that winning horse. To see them lose 2 games in a row is almost unheard of and unthinkable from a team like the Crusaders who are looking to do the back-to-back competition champions. They're up against the Bulls. Now, the Bulls are coming off a bit of a hiding to the Chiefs, 41-28. They went down in that game. But the Bulls are like many South African teams, aren't they? They go on tour and they just don't seem to be able to perform at their best. So I consider the Bulls, like most of the other South African teams, like we've seen from the Stormers, we've seen from the Sharks as well, we'll talk about them soon, just don't seem to be able to play like they can at home when they're on the road. Consistency is a big thing for them. They can't seem to close out the games. They play good for a good 40 minutes, 60 minutes, and then they fall away. Do you think the Bulls, and most of the South African teams, in fact, are going to just go like we've seen from the Stormers and only be a real threat when they're at home in Africa?
Yeah, I think the Bulls did quite well last week. They pretty much dominated the Chiefs for the first couple minutes of the game, or the first half, and the Chiefs in the second half they lifted.
Yeah, the Chiefs definitely are a team that perform way better than most people expected this season as well. The Bulls, I think they're going to have a tough ask to get anything out of this game versus the Crusaders. We talked about last week how the Crusaders are going to be a team that's going to be hurting. They're going to be a team that's going to, really backlash almost against their opponents. So we'll see that against the Highlanders. Didn't turn out. The Highlanders did perform exceedingly well, and they eventually did obviously win that game as well, which would have caused even more pain to Crusaders and their fans as well. So I expect there'll be a big backlash here against the Bulls, and I don't see the Bulls are going to be even near close enough. Who's going to win this one for you? Have you got any big decisive factor about this game that's going to decide the outcome?
I think I pretty much got the Crusaders to win this by 10 points.
10 points? What's going to be the difference? Why are the Crusaders going to be the better side?
I think the Bulls, they did their performance last week, and they're travelling and they're facing a fired-up Crusaders team. So
yeah, they're a team that doesn't like to hit the road, are they? And they're going to really have to struggle. So you've got the Crusaders by 10? Is that right? Yep, Crusaders by 10. I'm going Crusaders by 17. Something even more confident in the Crusaders to pull out a big victory here. I just think the Bulls aren't going to pull out their full 80-minute performance like we've seen from them every single week. They seem to just be short of a gallop in terms of playing that full matchup. The Crusaders, oh man, they're just going to be so livid. They're going to be so angry at how they've played over the last couple of weeks, losing 2 games against rivals, conference rivals, which they're the games you can't afford to lose, especially if you want to top the table, and they've gone down quite badly now after that. So I'm going, Crusaders by 17, and I think they're going to do it quite easily. Might see a bit of a steady start for the Bulls, maybe giving them a bit of a rough up early on, but as the game wears on, you'll see the Crusaders should easily take command of the matchup. Right, game number 2. Firing through them. We've actually got a short week as well this week because the Blues, the Brumbies and the Waratahs are all on the bye. So we're actually one match less than we've seen from every weekend this season as well. So game number 2, we're going over the ditch to Australia. The Rebels are in action against the Sharks. Now, two sides that I think are going to be like the Crusaders. Pretty unhappy. It's at Amy Park. The Rebels coming off you'd call it a surprising loss as well against the Waratahs. 51-27. That scoreline. The Rebels, of course, the team, everyone expected to do well in Australia. Everyone was just starting to get convinced that this Rebels side could be the real deal. And that second half display they showed against the Waratahs was almost old Rebels. It was almost 2017 Rebels, the way that they played. And the way the Australian conference is at the moment, this is a huge game for them. Massive points on offer. But do you think this Rebels side, do you think they can afford to drop any more points in this conference, especially against a touring South African team?
No, I don't think so. I think the Rebels, they have to bounce back this week, and they're at home. So, I think the Rebels, they gotta get the result.
Yeah, they've definitely got to pick it up from what they did last week. Their second half display, they just got absolutely cleaned up by a Waratah side that was, again, talk about it, punching well above their weight. They shouldn't be getting these victories, but they just seem to stay in the game. They don't go away. They're on the bye, though, so we're not even going to talk about those guys anymore. The Sharks, on the other hand, tour, they lost to the Brumbies. I mean, how bad is that? The Brumbies have been terrible this season so far, 24-17. They've almost made the Brumbies play into a little bit of a touch of form, but the Sharks, I think they sit in a big boat for me, just about by themselves. A big disappointing boat because they've been not good enough. A great team on paper, but when they get out there on field, they're just all over the show. That loss last weekend, I think, is going to be the biggest low of their season so far. But do you think they continue on this tour up against the Rebels? Are they good enough side to get anything out of this tour? Will they go back to Africa with some points from this tour of Australia?
No, the Sharks were pretty ordinary last week, I think. They should have beat the Brumbies, but they were pretty ordinary. So I don't think. I think the Rebels will bounce back. I don't think the Sharks will get a result.
Don't even see them picking up a losing bonus point, possibly.
No, probably not.
Jeez, really put the knockers on the poor old Sharks. Oh, Brett's not going to be happy about this at all. Oh, we're going to have to get Brett on and definitely talk about his Sharks again after the way they're performing. He's not happy at all. To be fair, Sharks fans should not be happy with the way their team's been going at all. They've been pretty, like you said, pretty ordinary and nowhere near up to the standard that they should be. Right, Sharks, they're touring, but I don't know, I've got this one going pretty close. So what's your pick between these two teams?
I've got the Rebels by 5, actually.
Ooh, that's surprising. I thought you were going to completely count them out and say that they're going to thrash the Sharks. I've actually gone Rebels by 4. So I've gone pretty much similar to what you've gone on that one. I just think home advantage is going to be the big thing. And just South African teams just don't tour very well. Anything else you think between those two sides that's going to really decide this game?
Not really. I don't think. I think it'll be a little bit close, but I don't think the Sharks will come away with it. So.
Not good enough to finish the result for the Sharks. They've got the knockers on them. We're both going for the Rebels, which will be interesting to see how that goes. I think the Sharks, on paper, good enough, but just probably not going to pull it away at the end. Right, that's 2 down. We're on to our third match of the weekend. We're back off to Japan, back off to Prince Shishibu Stadium, where the Chiefs are touring over to play the Sunwolves. Now, the Sunwolves last weekend, you've got to give them a bit of credit here. 40-38, they went down to the Lions. The Lions are the team from Africa, but are they really after a disappointing display against the Blues and now this against the Sunwolves? They don't look as good as they are. There's a couple of things I thought here from the Sunwolves that they really did pick up. Their line speed was amazing. They pressured the defence. They looked to have the way the Lions played studied to a T. They knew exactly what they're going to do, and they just shut them down. And the Lions didn't look like they were going to adapt to it at all, but we'll talk more about them later. I thought the Sun was very good defensively. Their pack performed very, very well. They were great in the maul, but they still made a lot of silly mistakes. Despite all the injuries, do you think this Japanese side is really getting some good depth throughout their rugby? And are they really as good as they showed against the Lions, or were the Lions just really bad?
I think the Lions were a little bit off on that game.
Do you think the Sunwolves are really developing good depth within their ranks there?
Well, that's a tough one to call, really.
They got a lot of players coming through that are definitely playing pretty well at Super Rugby level. So it's only good for the Sunwolves. It's only good for Japanese rugby as well to get these guys exposed to the level higher up. But back home, back to the Chiefs. They're a team that many expected not to go very well this season, but they seem to have an attitude that they'll never give up, they'll never die, they'll never let their team down. They can play a full 80 minutes, which other teams, well, they aren't capable of doing. Do you think the Chiefs are showing that they have the ability or the talent in the side? They are uncovering the most newcomers, the most future New Zealand rugby talents in all of the sides in the New Zealand Conference so far.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs, it's in their culture, really. They've had so many injuries and they've stepped up and they've come away with the result.
Yeah, they're definitely a good side, showing heaps of new youth and exuberance and players that definitely, coming up from Mitre 10 Cup level, coming up through the ranks and stepping it up. And really, when you looked at them early on, you say, who is half the side? And you definitely say, pretty much like the Highlanders, that these guys are up there now, Super Rugby team, Super Rugby level players. They're travelling away, though, to face the Sunwolves. Of course, the Chiefs down the Bulls, who we talked about earlier on, 41-28, great second half, great play from the Chiefs. Now they hit the road, though, over to Japan. Is that going to be a factor for them? Do you think they can still get the victory over there?
No, I think the Chiefs will get the result, and I don't think the travel will be a factor but the Sunwolves are playing at home, so you don't know, you never know what could happen.
The Sunwolves definitely have the ability to surprise a lot of sides as well. What's your margin between this one? Who's your winner?
I've got the Chiefs by 16.
Chiefs by 16. Well, you're going a little bit more confident than me. I've just gone Chiefs by 11. It's a bit of a shaky one. I think the Sunwolves, it's hard to tell whether they were actually really good last week or, like I said to you earlier, like whether the Lions are actually that bad. Watching that game was hard to tell. I think that the way the Sunwolves played really did affect that result. Whether that will work again against the Chiefs will be another story. I think the Chiefs definitely have a different style of play than what we've seen from the Lions. So that's going to come into a lot as well. You're going Chiefs by 16. I've got them by just 11. So either way, you're copying me. See, why do my picks go so wrong when you've got exactly the same? Oh, jeez, I don't know. I can't catch a break on this one. Right, let's go on. Match of the weekend, next one here. The Hurricanes are hosting the Highlanders. This one's Westpac Stadium. Surely a lot to talk about this one. And I think surely we're going to have different opinions on winners this one. The Hurricanes back from the bye, of course. They didn't play last weekend, so they'll be refreshed. But what they probably seen last weekend from the Highlanders will have them probably a little bit concerned about what they're coming back to, because these are the two teams that last beat the Highlanders, the Crusaders, sorry. Last time both these sides played, they beat what many people consider to be the champions, or their favourites to be champions. It's very much a changed team when they come home after their tour as well. But do you consider these two teams the best two sides in Super Rugby at the moment?
Yes, I do actually, because the Highlanders, well, they're going well. They're unbeaten start to the year. And the Hurricanes, yep, they're right up there. So they've got a strong team, and the Highlanders have got a strong side.
You're definitely coming back home has helped the Hurricanes. It's changed their fortunes. They look pretty average when they're on tour, but now they're back at home, things have definitely changed for them as well. And I think they're a different sort of side. Get that tour out of the way, and now I think we're going to see the best of the Hurricanes throughout the rest of the season. They're looking good. They've got their fitness up. Players who were, 50-50s in the side are starting to come back into this team and starting to actually make an impact and make their presence told a bit more than they were in the first couple of rounds. But they are up against the Highlanders. Oh, the Highlanders. They're exciting, the Highlanders. They're so good to watch. It's almost back to a couple of years ago when it was this team of no names just showing up Super Rugby and just saying, look, we are the Highlanders and we're going to beat you as a team, which is what they do. You've mentioned it already, the only undefeated team in Super Rugby after 5 rounds. Now, come on. Yes, they've had a bye, but that is still no mean feat to come away with that after they were considered, not to be competition runners will run away with it at all. But do you think they can kill 2 giants in a row here? Take out the Crusaders, take out the Hurricanes 2 weeks in a row and really cement themselves as a front runner in the New Zealand Conference?
I give them a chance a little bit in this game, but the Hurricanes are back at home and the home crowd in the home stadium. So I got the Hurricanes to win, but yeah.
Do you think playing away from Forsyth Bar, so playing out the elements again for the Highlanders, is going to make a big difference to the result in this match?
I think so, yeah, because the Highlanders, they're playing at an indoor stadium, and they haven't played away from home yet this year.
So that's due to be a big difference maker for them. So they're finally going to get out there and taste a bit of the weather. So that's going to be interesting. So you mentioned you got the Hurricanes. What's your margin?
Yep. I've got the Hurricanes by 4. I think it'd be close.
Oh, I thought we'd have something different. Now we're talking. I'm going with the Highlanders by 1. 1 solitary point.
Wow.
It's going to be close. It's going to be a good game. Either way, 2 sides that attack, 2 sides that make mistakes, 2 teams that are going to live and die by the attacking sword, aren't they? They're going to really throw it all out there. Should be a great game. There's so many matchups in here you want to watch. There's so many like the Sopoangas versus the Barretts, the Ben Smiths versus whoever's playing at fullback for the Hurricanes, Geordie Barrett, whoever it's going to be. Key men and key matchups. It's going to be great. It's going to be, I think, since we've seen a bit of a, maybe not really drop-off, but since we've seen good wins against the Crusaders, these 2 sides are really starting to emerge as the competition frontrunners from New Zealand as well. So, boy, New Zealand conference looks so strong at the moment, doesn't it? They look just amazing. So you're going for the Hurricanes. What was your margin again? 4?
4. Yep.
4. I'm going Highlanders by 1. So we've got a point of difference. Come the end of the weekend, I'm gonna check and make sure I've beaten you this weekend. I can tell you that. So that's going to be a cracker match there between the Hurricanes and the Highlanders. Should definitely worth watching on your Saturday night. Right. Let's go back over to Africa. It's a Sunday morning match for us in New Zealand. Saturday night over in Africa, of course. The Stormers versus the Reds. This one's at Newlands, which is becoming an interesting place now for the Stormers because I've talked about this team a lot in the build-up. They did dispose of the Blues, who of course took out the Lions the week before. 37-20 was the result of that one. I've talked a lot about the Stormers team and how I expect them to be a really good side at home. They've shown good patches on tour. They showed good bits here and there, but never really completed it. They weren't amazing versus the Blues last weekend, but I think key men are really starting to show up in this side. Willemse, Lades, their combination between 10 and 15 and just swapping around and showing their versatility is becoming massive. They dominated the Blues really in all facets of their game. They know where their key men are and they know how to use them, which is great. And I really like this Stormers team. Now that their tour is out of the way as well, they could be a real threat for the rest of the competition. But what do you think? Are these guys the real deal when they're at home?
The Stormers are a better team at Cape Town, really. So all the South African teams are the same. They're good at home, but away they struggle. So, yeah, the Stormers will be happy to be back at Cape Town.
Yeah, they'll definitely be happy to be back at home. And they're shown already. That game against the Blues, they were definitely a lot better over the whole match. It was almost a complete performance rather than the 50-50 thing we sort of saw from them when they were on tour. Great key players that side, though. They are very exciting to watch. I mentioned them already, but Willemse is just going to be a great talent for African rugby. So I'm excited to see him in more and more action as time goes on. But they're up against the Reds. Now, the Reds, this Reds pack is something to behold here. They are all the fuss. They're all the rage. Brad Thorne's style is really starting to rub off on this Reds team. We're seeing really what he offers as a coach. 3 wins in a row, which is, unheard of almost by an Australian team, let alone the Reds recently. Do you think these guys now, since maybe the Rebels have fallen off the pace a bit with that loss, are the Reds the team everyone needs to watch out for from Australia?
Well, I think the Reds are going pretty well. It's been quite of a surprise to see them go that well. And no, I'm still sticking by the Rebels at the moment as a top Australian side.
That's interesting. You've gone with my pick as well. Yes. Go the Rebels. I do think so too, but I think the Reds are really going to push them. And the pack, it's just down to their pack. Just seems to perform so well. To see them go over there against the Jaguares, who are obviously it's super old cliche, but we all know the Argentinian sides really like to dominate a game up front. They've developed into their backline. Yes, we've talked about that a million times over, but they are a pack team. They have great forwards, but to see them kind of matched and possibly nudged back towards the Red side as winning that battle was really, really interesting. And I think the Reds had to really grind down that result. Probably you could say they didn't really deserve to win it, but the Jaguares threw away so many chances, and they're in action in our next match, so we'll talk more about them soon. But the Reds just seem to be able to grind it down and win it. Young team that is learning how to win, and it makes a difference. Do you think that they will keep that momentum going over to Newlands?
Yeah, no, I think the Stormers will continue winning ways.
Stormers by how many?
The Stormers by 8.
Stormers by 8. See, I should be top of the table here. I'm going Stormers by 6. See, this is why. This difference, 2 points. Stormers by 6. I think the Stormers are going to probably take out all comers that go to Newlands. I think they're going to be that good. That's overall they should be a team that you don't want to go face in Africa. Really, you don't want to face the Lions. You don't want to face the Stormers. Do you want to face any of the African teams? The Bulls look pretty good at home as well. Yeah, and it's just going to be hard to beat the Sharks. Early doors, I was pretty happy with the Sharks team, but I'm unconvinced now what they're going to offer. So we'll see what they offer when they do get back home. So Stormers by 6, you've gone Stormers by 8. Once again, we agree. One game is all we've done differently so far, and we only have one game left to go as well. So, you know, I should be right up there at the top of things. One game. Jaguares versus Lions. This one is in Buenos Aires. Another home game for the Jaguares. Of course, they did. We just talked about it. Go down to the Reds, 18-7. And the Lions, we talked about them as well, just pipping out the Sunwolves. They're on tour. This Jaguares side over there at home, which is big. We've talked about a lot in previous episodes of this as well, but I'm keen to see what you think. This period of the season is huge for the Jaguares. So many home games. They have to take out so many results here. They've got to get wins because on the road, it looks unlikely that they're going to do it. They create a lot of chances. They're exciting. Their backs make a lot of breaks, but they are just so wasteful, which is a disappointing thing about the Jaguares. But this season, I don't know. I think this season is kind of over now. When you look at the table and you see they've just got the one win at the bottom there, they're not going to obviously trouble the leaders at all. What do you think? What is 2018 going to store for the Jaguares now? Do you think are they going to just be the upsetters, or are they just going to float along another disappointing season of Super Rugby?
Oh, that's a I think the Jaguars they need to the next couple of weeks is important. Otherwise, their season's going to be over. So, yeah. I think they need to get the win against the Lions.
It's a tough ask, though, isn't it? It's a tough ask to get the Lions to come. Sure, they're at home, which, like you said, makes a big difference, but it's the Lions. I mean, if you had the Sunwolves visiting or the Brumbies visiting, you'd say, yes, this is must win, but boy, this is going to be tough. But I think they've got to look at what happened in the last couple of weeks there against the Lions, from the Sunwolves, from the Blues, and they've got to say, this style of play we have to play. We have to rush defence them because they don't seem to adapt. They took a long time to adapt to that as well. So that's going to be key, that they play that style and they just don't let that backline flow. They've got to shut it down at Yankees. They've got to not let him get away. The centres can't control anything through the middle. So that's going to be big. And the Lions, they've got to learn how to change that game plan. It took them a good 60-odd minutes before they actually started to against the Sunwolves. But, we talked about the Lions earlier on the season. Obviously, they're going to be one of our favourites to get into the playoffs, probably go quite deep into the playoffs as well. Has the last 2 weeks where they've had pretty indifferent performances, has that changed your opinion on the Lions?
Actually, yeah, I'm sort of starting to change my view on the Lions the last couple of weeks.
Do you think they're still front-runners from Africa?
They should top the African conference, but I don't know if they'll go far in the finals.
Oh, tough call. Tough call there on the Lions. I mean, if they do get to the end, they are going to be at home. Obviously, if they do top the African Conference, which is going to be massive, obviously, going over there to play at Emirates Airline Park, this is going to be big. But they just don't look like they're at their best at the moment. But it's still a long season, long way to go yet in the competition. So you can't discount the Lions just yet. And they do have a big lead, I think 10 points at the top of the table. So that's got to be massive for them. And their confidence, they know they can probably drop a game or two more, but still take out the top of the African Conference, which is going to be good for them as well. But they need to really adapt a bit better, a bit quicker than they did against the Sunwolves, of course. So do you have a big chance here the Lions are going to win this one on the road?
Well, the last 2 times these 2 teams have met, the home teams won, so maybe the travel will be tough on the Lions.
Yeah, you brought up a good point there, because the last season, of course, was the one loss. Last 2 seasons, the one loss to the Lions was to the Jaguares, of course, taking that weakened team in the last round of the competition where they should have topped the table, should have got a home final. They didn't. They threw it all away. Now, well, this is the game they normally, you're right, this is the game they normally drop. But it's a game they can't afford to really drop. They need to keep winning these games as well. So this has actually got a bit of a twist to it as well, because the Jaguares, you're right, do have that little bit of an edge over the Lions in recent history as well. So who are you backing for this one?
I'm actually going to back the Jaguares by 3.
Oh, are you by 2? Oh, 3. See, 3. This is why you're up near the top of the leaderboard, eh? Controversial calls like this. He's going with the Jaguares. This is going to be interesting. So why? Why are you going with the Jaguares for? What do you think is going to be the difference?
Well, it's at home, and I think the travel for the Lions, it might affect them a little bit, and they might be changing their side around.
Oh, I hope they don't do that again. That doesn't prove too well for them. If they do that anymore, it could be devastating for them. But, well, that's interesting. Interesting that you're going for the Jaguares on that one. I'm intrigued very much. I'm going for the Lions. I'm going Lions in a big way. I'm going Lions by 17 to take out this one. It depends what team shows up, especially for the home side. The Jaguares, they are such a good team that they can throw points on the scoreboard at will. They can also throw the ball into the second row. They can kick it sideways. They can do all sorts of dreadful stuff at the same time. But like the Sunwolves, a very mistake-ridden, error-ridden sort of side. So it depends who turns up, which is going to be the really interesting part for this matchup. So you're going with the Jaguares. Oh, I'm looking forward to this game now as well. Get up the Lions. Right, that is it though. We've done all our matches. All the matches done and dusted. We've got a couple of different ones there. So just 2. You're going Hurricanes and the Jaguares. You're going home teams, actually. I've gone Highlanders and Lions as different makers between those 2 games. Otherwise, we are the same, which is really, really interesting to see what's going to go on. But that is us done for our predictions for round number 6. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you want to all leave your thoughts in the comments below as what you thought about our picks and reasons why as well. But, of course, we've got to thank Christian for coming and joining us, as always. Getting up there and doing this sort of stuff for the first time is not very easy as well. So do give him a good well done if you think he's done all right here in today's video. But, of course, if you do want to follow him and see what his thoughts are on the rugby throughout the weekend, where can people get hold of you? Where can they find you and have a chat?
You can follow me at ChristianRocks2 on Twitter.
Nice and easy.
And I'll be talk about a rugby and some other sport.
All sorts of sports. Yeah, you do throw a bit of sport around. You're into your racing, you're into your league, of course. So, all sorts of sports going on out there. You can catch that up and have a bit of chat to them. But that is us. Thanks for joining me. It's been an interesting little chat. And we'll see what everyone else thinks about our picks for this weekend. But until next time, thank you all for joining in and watching. And I'll see you all for round 7. Hold up enough fingers. Round 7. Until then, though, take care.